So our title for today is different types of castles, and then we've just got one lesson objective to investigate how castles changed between the 11th and the 15th century. I think you guys will like this lesson. It's lots of small tasks and then a really nice poster task at the end. So our first little recap on what we did last lesson, what I would like you to do is just to give a little title of Motte and Bailey recap, and then I want you to see if you can answer these 5 questions. So if you pause the video here, answer the 5 questions, and then press play when you're ready, and we will see about going through the answers. Okay, so question 1, I asked you, what is a keep? What is a keep? So you should have put that the keep is the middle bit of the castle, as this bit here, as where the people who own the castle tend to live. All right, so that is the keep. So you should have got that for number 1. Number 2, it says give a positive of the Motte and Bailey castle. So what was good about it? All right, it was very quick to build. You could put these up very, very quickly within a couple of days. All right, and also they were always built on high ground, so that's another real positive in that you could see for quite far out if anyone was coming. So that's a really big positive as well. So it says, why did William build castles? So we looked at this last lesson and there were 4 key things. So if you remembered any of these, well done. So you have got for protection, okay? You have got to make money, because remember the knights that he put in that castle, so it was also a soldier base, okay, for his a base for his soldiers. But those knights, one of their jobs would be to collect tax from the local people to make sure that's happening, and that tax was going straight to William. So you've got protection, making money, a base for his soldiers, and then the final one, which was as a respect, to show off, basically, to show his power. So if you've got any of those, well done. Then number 4, I asked you, what is the Bailey? What is the Bailey? So the Bailey is all of this area here. So anything inside the fence, okay, is the Bailey. And the fence that goes around the outside, so this bit is palisade. Okay, so that's the wooden fence, but the Bailey is anything inside that. And there are often people would live in there. There'd be farm animals and stuff in there as well. And then you've got question 5, what were the negatives of a Motte and Bailey castle? So this one, you just need to think about, what was the Motte and Bailey castle made from? Okay, it was made from wood. So yes, that meant it could be built quickly, great. However, it also meant if someone wanted to attack it, wood is very easy to set on fire. So they could be burned down really, really quickly. Okay, so easy to attack. So that was a real big negative of the Motte and Bailey castle. So for this task, what I want you to do is look at the 2 pictures. So you've got a Motte and Bailey castle there on the left, and then on the right, you've got a stone keep castle. I just want you to write down what is similar and what is different about the 2 castles. Even if you can only get one thing, that is fine. So pause the video here to do that. Get that written down, press play when you are ready. So what you should have got, a really big difference here about the Motte and Bailey and the Stone Keep Castle, is the Motte and Bailey is made of wood, all right, and the Stone Keep Castle is made of stone. That's a huge difference. One of the things that's similar about them, you can see there that the Stone Keep and the keep, the Motte, all right, are still built on a hill. So that was still important. So that's the similarity. And then your difference is you've got what they are made out of. Okay, task 2. I want you to look at these 2 pictures now, okay, and do exactly the same as you just did. So I want you to write down something that's similar about them and something that's different about them. Press pause while you do that. I'll be here when you get back. So source B is our Stone Keep Castle. So what you should have had for this one is we know that it was made of stone. The shape of it, it's a square shape, all right, and it's built on a hill. So when we look at source C, our concentric castle, okay, it is very different. So you can see that these round areas here, all right, all of those that go the whole way around, I'm sorry, my drawing on here is not very good. They're called turrets, All right, so they are turrets. So this castle doesn't really have turrets. This castle has a lot of turrets all around it. Okay, it's also a lot bigger. It's much, much bigger than the Stonekeep Castle. Look at that big area of space in the middle. All right, it was much, much bigger. It's also got a large outer wall. So a really strong defensive outer wall that was built of stone as well. Okay, so very different to our Stonekeep Castle. However, we also need to think about what is similar about these castles. And one of the things that is similar is they are still being built out of stone. So that is still there. And then one other difference is you can see the concentric castle. It's not on a hill. That's on flat ground. Okay, so that is on flat ground. So make sure you've got some of those down. Okay, so task 3, same as before. I want you to look at the concentric castle on your left and tell me similar. How is it similar and how is it different to the brick tower castle on the right? Pause the video while you do this and I will be here when you get back. So we spoke about our concentric castle and we said it has turrets. Okay, it has turrets. You can see that the brick tower, they're kind of turrets, but they're not rounded. You can see they've got edges there. Okay, so they redesigned how the turrets were built there. Our concentric castle is massive, all right, with a big area in the middle. The brick tower isn't that big. It's a lot more condensed, isn't it? It's a lot higher, okay, but it doesn't use as much space. And then our concentric castle has got an outer wall, and our brick tower, there is no outer wall. It is simply just this brick tower. Okay, so it's higher, it's a bit smaller in terms of overall size, in terms of the amount of land that it uses, and there is no outer wall. So just make sure you've got some of those things down, guys. Okay, so what I would like you to do here is you are going to create a bar graph. All right, I've done an example of how to do it. So along here, we have got the numbers 1 to 10. Okay, so you have got 1 to 10. 1 being really weak and completely rubbish, and strong being number 10, super amazing castle. No one would be able to attack it. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to go through each of the 4 pictures of your castles. So you've got the Motte and Bailey, you've got the Stonekeep Castle, Concentric Castle, and your Brick Tower Castle. And you need to give each of them a score out of 10 for how strong or weak you think they are, okay? And then what you need to do is you draw your bar, okay? So I've given the Motte and Bailey, I've said that it was a 5. I've just made it up just so you guys can see, okay? So I've given it a 5, so I've drawn the square there of 5, and I've written in the middle of it Motte and Bailey Castle, so I know that that bar is talking about Motte and Bailey Castle. You could do a key if you want and colour each column of your bar graph a different colour and do a key in the corner. It's completely up to you. And remember, guys, this has got a camera phone picture on it, so this is one of the documents that I would like you to send me to show me that you have completed this task. Okay, so if you just pause the video here and complete your bar graph. So I just want to spend a little bit of time talking to you about why castles got a bit weaker over time. That's what your sort of bar graph should have showed. So some people would say that brick tower castles have less defences, okay, because they haven't got that outer wall. They haven't got those turrets, which made it quite difficult to knock down a castle, okay, to attack a turret was quite tricky. So some people say they have less defences and that they're actually weaker than concentric castles. But actually, we would have thought that castles got stronger over time, but that's not necessarily the case. So brick towers were generally built later than concentric castles, okay? And I want you to have a think about why they were built that way. So why did they not have an outer wall? Okay, and why are they just one building in quite a small area? I've given you a bit of a hint. So something gun-based, something to do with guns was invented. So have a little bit of a think and think how might that have affected castle building. So well done to any of you that managed to guess, okay, that cannons was the thing that was invented, all right, and that really changed castle design. So cannons were first used in Europe during the 15th century, okay. Cannonballs could smash through the thickest castle walls. So there wasn't any point in building castles, big castles anymore, or thick walls anymore. All right, it just wasn't needed because the cannonballs would go straight through them anyway. And cannons were first used in England in 1327 in a war between England and Scotland. So I've put that in because I know you guys ask a lot of questions, and definitely that would have been a question that someone in the class would have asked me. So I've answered it because I was guessing that you were going to ask me. So we'll move straight on to our main task for today. Just notice, guys, in the corner, there is a photo picture. So the task that you're going to complete, this is one of the ones I would like you to send me a picture of, okay, along with your bar graph. So what you're going to do is read the information on the next two slides and use it to create a poster or a booklet or a PowerPoint, whatever you would like to do, okay, about one of the castles. So either a stone keep castle or a concentric castle. That's the information on the next two slides. You can pick one. If you have enough time and you would like to do one on each, then go for it, absolutely, but you only need to do one, okay? And you can do your own research as well, so you can add to it if you want to. If you want to look up stuff online about those castles, if you want to print off a picture of one of those castles, or do a drawing, or give me an example of one of those castles, then that is completely up to you, okay? So what you need to do is, here's your first one, so you can read this information. Okay, so read your information and then pause it, have a read of it, decide which one you're going to do. The next one is on the next slide. And then I will see you at the end of this video just to go through the final little plenary with you. So you should have all completed your beautiful posters or your PowerPoints or your booklets, and I'll really look forward to seeing those when you send me your pictures of them, okay? I want you to think about what you've learned about during this lesson. So there's 3 sentences here that I would like you to complete on your piece of paper. So one thing that I learned today, one thing that I already knew, and one thing that really surprised me. Okay, so just 3 simple sentences there, just so I can see what it is you've got out of today's lesson. And that is the end of the lesson, guys. So once you've done that, you are finished for the day. And I will speak to you again soon for our next lesson.